How's it going, guys? So, I'm kind of back, but more importantly, you know who else is kind of back? PapaWrite. Now, if you don't know who that is, he's a great YouTuber. Links in the description. You should definitely go follow. Good friend of mine. Love you, Dylan. But he's also kind of back, and I haven't really reacted to anything in a little while. Well, responded to any other YouTubers' videos in a while, not since the bandana guy. So, we're going to go ahead and respond to Papa's newest video, which is giving off red flags already because it's called What I Don't Like About Sora and Smash. So, let's see if we need to roast this dude or if we're going to agree with anything he says. I'm going to let it play and then I'm going to respond to some of the stuff here. We're going to watch it together. He gave me permission to do this, I swear to God. I can show you the DM. That music.
Let's go.
I'm so excited. Only a couple more days, too.
Sora has finally made it into Super Smash Bros, and as a major fan of Kingdom Hearts, it's just incredible to see him in the game and shaking hands with the famous plumber himself. It's honestly been a dream of mine to see Sora in Smash, and to get him as the final DLC character was an absolute joy. Unfortunately, I didn't record my reaction, but I assure you, I went completely insane during the reveal.
Anybody who was there in the live stream with me when I was reacting, I went a little ballistic, so trust me, Dylan, I can understand. It's a lot of emotions when something like this happens, so I totally get it. My brother cried.
Hell, on my Twitter alone, I went berserk over this announcement. And while I am absolutely still in awe that this even happened, I do have some issues with Sora's representation in Smash.
Me too, so let's see what he has to say.
None of that is to say I'm upset with what Sakurai managed to do here. I'm incredibly gracious that he was able to get this all together regardless.
I just want to stop the video real quick to say, dude, I love your channel art so much. Like, this is unfair. Making me look like an amateur over here with all this high production value and everything. Like, come on, man, what the hell?
So, even though I'm about to list off a few notable problems I have with this, don't take any of it as anything more than nitpicks and or suggestions for future Smash games if Sora is ever included again, which very well might not happen due to the licensing effort needed to make it happen again. But with Sora coming to Smash, honestly, anything is possible. But with all of that out of the way, here are just a few of my gripes with Sora in Smash. A big thing about Sora as a character are his friends. Even the quote, "my friends are my power," is shown up several times throughout the course of the series.
This is the big one.
With Sora in Smash, he is completely alone and by himself. Even in the final Smash, which is where I expected some of the other characters to show up, it's only Sora closing the keyhole, and that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely the big one. Sora definitely should have had other character representation, especially in his final Smash. That would have been the easiest spot to put it in, but you could do a lot of things. I think it would have been... I think the real issue with this is, unfortunately, the stage. Now, it's cool that the stage transitions to Dive to the Heart, and you can see characters like other characters in other characters Dive to the Hearts as well. But, like, yeah, some more, like, actual, like a modeled character would have been nice. So, I would have done... instead of this Final Smash, I would have done, and unfortunately, okay, I mentioned this in the live stream when we did our initial reactions, and I didn't look up what it was officially called, so I don't know. I literally only know it as the Gay Blade. Damn you, Butterbuns. But his move with Riku, the whole, you know, doubling the hand, swinging the big giant forged Keyblade together, that's what I would have had as the Final Smash. So it would have been so easy, and you could have had Riku there. Would have been great. And like costumes, you could have done like other costumes, other characters too. I like the costumes we got though. I'm gonna stop talking because I've not seen this yet, so I don't know if he actually covers any of this stuff yet. So let's go ahead and watch some more. But yes, I agree. Shit needed more characters. Not Disney characters, duh, but more Kingdom Hearts characters would have been nice. Kairi, Riku, Roxas, that kind of stuff.
I was kind of hoping that some of the other characters might show up in either his moveset or maybe in that final Smash. However, they don't at all. And while I understand Donald and Goofy not being there because of Disney, that being a big thing, or maybe Sakurai just simply didn't want them in there because they're not video game characters. However,
that's a good point
I don't really understand why maybe Kairi or Riku could have been there, because that would have made a lot more sense for Sora as a character. They are Kingdom Hearts specific characters that were made for Kingdom Hearts, and it would just make sense for Sora's character overall. He is not the type of character in the Kingdom Hearts games to really go it alone and do things by himself. Now, you could sort of argue that he did that in Dream Drop Distance, but still, that was more of an outlier than anything, and he still sort of had Riku there in a way at the very least.
It's true.
And again, this isn't any sort of deal breaker or anything like that. I'm still extremely happy to see Sora in Smash, and even by himself, it's really awesome to see. It's just that if they did have Riku and Kairi there for the final Smash, it would have made it feel at least a little bit more Sora, I guess. And
yeah, definitely. I let that play a little longer just because I basically I got a little bit ahead of myself. So yeah, 100% agreed. Should have had a Final Smash involving some other Kingdom Hearts characters. That would have really definitely been the best way to go. Even if it is just Riku, like just Riku alone would have been awesome. But you bring up a good point though. Like, yeah, maybe Disney would have let them use Donald and Goofy, but maybe Sakurai legit just doesn't even want them because they're not video game characters. He's been pretty clear about making that distinction here, so that's definitely a possibility. I don't know. I wasn't there in the room, you know?
And with a lot of other characters having final smashes where they do something like Sora does from, you know, one of their respective games, and then they have a bunch of their characters from that series there, so it would have just made more sense.
Yeah,
but I imagine
like
there
Mega
were
Man.
maybe some complications with that or something like that, and they were maybe only able to get Sora from Kingdom Hearts. That's just a guess anyways. Either way, it doesn't dampen the excitement for the character. It just would have been cooler to see that there because it would have made a bit more sense for Sora as a character. Another thing I sort of take issue with, and this is very small anyways, is the stage itself. I do kind of wish we either got the Destiny Islands or the Keyblade Graveyard in Smash. Now, I do think that overall Hollow Bastion is a good choice, and I'm glad Hollow Bastion is there. I think it's one of the better picks because it was such an iconic area in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, Hollow Bastion's a good pick in general. I guess, you know what? Hollow Bastion is good for the sole purpose of, well, for the sole reason, I guess, for the fact that this stage is kind of two stages put together, right? It isn't just Hollow Bastion, it is Hollow Bastion and the Dive to the Heart section as well. If it was just Hollow Bastion, I would have actually been disappointed. If it was just Hollow Bastion alone, no Dive to the Heart stuff, I would have been disappointed. But because they were able to split it, and do the whole Hollow Bastion and Dive to the Heart sections, I think that's a really super cool idea, the super dope stage, because you have that representation of the world, you know, it's the final world kind of in the game, the final like main world, and then you get, you know, the Dive to the Heart, which is such an iconic place from like every game. Plus Hollow Bastion is in multiple Kingdom Hearts games, so I guess it like kind of makes sense there, but I think something a little bit more intrinsic to like the story and the lore of Kingdom Hearts would have been definitely better. Like a Destiny Islands would have been my pick for sure. And then you could still have the Dive to the Heart mechanic as well. I just think Destiny Islands better. And dude, we could have imagine like, okay, going to like the topic of music, imagine we could have got like a super sick remix of the Destiny Islands theme, which is a phenomenal theme, by the way. Like the Chain of Memories version of the Destiny Islands theme is awesome. So if they had to use a version, I would have picked maybe that, but instead of the KH1 version. Although the KH1 version might have worked better for like battle. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Destiny Islands would have been my pick 100%. You're right on that.
However, I do think that Destiny Islands would have encaptured Kingdom Hearts as a whole a little bit better because Hollow Bastion obviously isn't in Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3.
What did you just say? Did you say that Hollow Bastion wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 2? Dylan, these are fighting words, sir. Hollow Bastion is the best world of Kingdom Hearts 2. I will punch you. You know this.
Though, kind of, because it's remade. Either way, I think Destiny Islands would make more sense. Either that or...
I should just start letting you talk more because I'm saying stuff and then you say it like 5 seconds later. I apologize.
Keyblade Graveyard, because that is such a really awesome looking area and would have been very
that would have been cool too.
Sora being into Smash.
That's
However, of course, this is just a very small thing. I still really do like that Hollow Bastion is there. And either way, regardless which stage we got, I think the Dive into the Heart segment where it changes to that with Hollow Bastion is really cool and definitely
super
something
cool.
That Sakurai had a great idea for, because I think that that makes a lot of sense for Sora being in Smash. Now, another thing I sort of take issue with, or at the very least, you know, it's a minor nitpick with this. I do kind of wish that some of the alternate costumes were Roxas and Ventus related, because obviously their moveset wouldn't really change too much, and their models are very similar to what Sora's is, so that just would have been cool to see a bit more representation of the Kingdom Hearts cast as a whole, rather than just Sora there with alternate costumes.
It's hard to criticize the costumes, right? Because these alt costumes are incredible. They really are incredible, and it's gonna make me look like a jerk, right? Like asking for more. Like, what are you talking about? Like, all these are so great. But I kind of agree. Yeah, like if it were me in charge, I probably would have cut Wisdom and Timeless River and done like 2 Roxas alts or something like that. Or honestly, just cut the DDD outfit. No one likes it. So, like, I would have cut that and like maybe Wisdom, or that and Timeless River. And then instead have like Roxas in his casual outfit, and then Roxas in the Organization 13 coat. That would have been what I would have done. Because Roxas's moveset is pretty much the same as Sora's. And even though it like really isn't, he would have made like a cool like alternate character, Echo Fighter, whatever you want to call it, you know, to Sora. That would have been nice to see. But what we have now is awesome. It is really cool that all the outfits are like canon outfits that Sora actually wears in his games. So I can't be too disappointed, but it definitely would have been really nice to see. It just goes back to that same issue of like more Kingdom Hearts representation would have been cooler than just Sora by himself, but I digress.
However, the alternate costumes we did get were really good in my opinion. Having the Valor and Wisdom form there, and the Ultimate form from Kingdom Hearts 3, plus of course Timeless River and Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3D, and 3 represented was a really good choice.
I will say, Wisdom being in the game as well as Valor is kind of cool when you think about it from kind of a meta standpoint, because in Kingdom Hearts, like the actual games, you can only use those forms by basically, there's no other way to say it, by absorbing Donald or Goofy respectively. So in a way, it's kind of like their way of having Donald and Goofy help you in battle. I guess that's kind of a cool way to look at it. And then like Ultimate Form, Ultimate Form is I was going to say Final Form is where you absorb both, but Ultimate Form from KH3, I don't actually remember. I think they stay in your party because the form changes in that game are just Keyblade related, so interesting. But definitely Wisdom and Valor is cool because that's Donald and Goofy's forms respectively, so interesting way to look at it for sure.
I do just wish, you know, we had Roxas and Ventus as alternate costumes. They were kind of really important to Sora, so it would have made a lot of sense, and again, given more representation to Sora and Kingdom Hearts itself. And another thing with the costumes is world-specific costumes I think would be cool. Something like the Halloween Town costume, or some of the other ones, like the Pirates costume. It would have just been cool and added a bit more variety to what's there. However, I understand not doing that because, again, Disney licensing issues. They probably couldn't get too close to some of these other Disney IP, so that is understandable there.
I will say, out of all of the possible world-specific outfits they chose, Timeless River is a cool one. It pays homage to older Disney. It gives Sora a very unique look. It even changes his Keyblade, which is cool. I mean, yeah, we did get a world-specific costume at the very least. So I'm happy about that. It would have been cool to see Halloween Town or whatever, but Timeless River being in the game is actually pretty cool, and that is a world-specific costume.
And sort of going along the costumes route, I do think it would have been cool if we had gotten a KH2 or KH3 modeled Sora for these alternate costumes, or at the very least just in general, because personally I'm not a huge fan of KH1 Sora. He's just used very often in plenty of the games.
KH1 Sora is a hate crime against me personally.
and recoded it, and did just so many of them that it would have been nice to see the more modern Sora design, which I do prefer. However, again, seeing the costumes for all of them there is really cool. I just would have preferred if the model changed too a little bit. It wouldn't have been a huge change, but I'm sure something to do with hitboxes and all of that was probably the reason they didn't do that. But overall, I just would have liked to see more representation of Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 in general, because as far as it goes, the song list and the stage itself, none of it has to do with KH2 or KH3.
Definitely, I agree with your point. If it were me doing this, I actually would have just done the Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 model for Sora, even for the KH1 and DDD outfits. I know they wanted to go kind of like classic, original Sora. I get that, but I actually would have just, because you can't have the different hitboxes and different sizes of the characters. That makes sense. So my solution to that is have the actual model itself be KH, like older Sora, and then just have him wear the KH1 outfit or whatever, and then the DDD outfit, but have it kind of be like a mix match, you know what I mean? Because this Sora already is very mix matched between all the different games. I mean, he's got moves from KH2, KH3, all these other things kind of amalgamated into one person. So my preference would have been to have the older Sora model, even if he's wearing the younger Sora clothes, or some kind of mix match of that, just because having the younger Sora in like all the aspects and have him still look younger even in the KH2 and 3 outfits, it doesn't look as nice. And like the KH2 and 3 look is the look most people are going to be using. So I think that was a missed opportunity for sure. That is probably my biggest complaint, like actual straight up, this is a complaint of mine. But I also feel very strongly about my dislike of Sora's KH1 and DDD designs. So I understand that this is just a little bit of a me problem here, and I'm grateful that we even have the option to change costumes. I will be absolutely rocking that KH2 Sora outfit 100% of the time. So don't get me wrong, I have a solution to my issues, mostly just I would like see them go the extra mile and actually have the older Sora, because I do not like young Sora. Especially, okay, last time I talked about this, I swear, but especially because Haley Joel Osment is voicing Sora in this game, and he's using his current Sora voice, which is deeper because he's older. But then you have that on the model of KH1 Sora, it doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. DDD has that problem too, where it's old Sora voice with little baby face. Doesn't make sense.
So it just would have been cool in general to see a bit more Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 stuff rather than just Kingdom Hearts 1 stuff, even though it is more iconic in general. So either way, I can understand going with the KH1 Sora. It fits and it works with the other costumes, but I just would have preferred to see a more modern Sora instead. Now, this is the last thing I have to mention about what I would have done differently with Sora in Smash based off what we've seen so far before he's actually out, and that is simply with the music choices. And while the music choices, in my opinion, the music tracks are really
more
good,
KH2 and 3 music
like
for sure.
See more KH2 representation or KH3 or some of the other games as well. However, of course, the tracks we did get was good, and I am happy with them. Another big thing would have been seeing Simple and Clean or Sanctuary or Don't Think Twice or Face My Fears as instrumental versions for the tracks in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, for sure. The music, I mean, I understand Square Enix has always been pretty stingy with the music. Look at Cloud and Smash 4, 2 songs. We were stuck with 2 songs for Final Fantasy until Sephiroth was added. That's ridiculous. So even Hero released with barely any songs, and then Sephiroth released with I think it was 9 for Sephiroth, just like with Sora here. So it makes sense that they didn't want to go crazy with the music. I'm sure it was already hard enough to get Square to agree to putting this much music in the first place, and then having to go and ask, Utada's agency for her tracks, and then get like things like that. I'm sure it was difficult, and it seems like the theme here is focusing on KH1 content, so it makes sense that I think every track, unless I'm mistaken, I think every track in this game is from KH1. So unless I'm completely mistaken here, I'm pretty sure like the focus with the music was KH1, but I really would have loved to see some more battle themes from throughout the series. I mean, KH2 has a ton of awesome battle themes that could have really fit this game, so I really just would have loved to see like maybe 4 or 5 more songs. I know that we got Dearly Beloved, the swing version from Melody Memory, if you have save data on, so there's 10 songs already. I would have loved to see like a total kind of like 15. That would have been a really nice balance, and then we could have had a little bit more KH2 or 3, you know, music as well. That's how I would have approached it. That's all.
I don't know why we didn't get these, or I kind of do.
Licensing.
More than likely, it had to do with licensing once again, because all these tracks have a ton of different licensing they'd have to go through. That isn't just Disney or Square Enix.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is actually a very big collaboration between many different companies. It is not just Disney and Square. There's a lot of other behind-the-scenes stuff that go into it as well. And of course, you know, Utada and her agency also, they own Simple and Clean, Sanctuary, Face My Fears, I think. Actually, don't quote me on that one, because that one might have something to do with Skrillex's agency as well. But at the very least, those first two, they own that song. So Disney technically licenses that shit out whenever they put it in the game. 'Cause that's her song. So it's just licensing, straight up. Weird that they got it for the trailer though, but they didn't get it for the game.
They went through other companies to make them, so it would have taken even more work to get these, but they're just so iconic to the Kingdom Hearts series.
It's heartbreaking,
overall, that
honestly.
Not getting at least Simple and Clean is a bit of a burn, in my opinion, especially when it was in the trailer for the Smash reveal. So it would have been really cool if they were able to get that. Again, I understand why it's not there, why none of these instrumental versions are there, but it just would have been really awesome to see. And also, I do kind of take a bit of a problem with the fact that you can get the swing version of Dearly Beloved in the game by having a saved copy of Melody of Memory. I get this is kind of a cool little inclusion, but it just would have been cool if that was there anyways without having to have a save of Melody of Memory. Not a big thing at all, just a little small thing I had to mention there. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. I mean, I own the game, but not on the Switch, so it's like if I really want that song, I gotta spend like $40 just to get that game again. Like, ugh. I'm just going to see if I can borrow one of my friend's copies just so I can have a save file on there and then remove it so I can just hit the song, because I already own the game on PS4. I'm not buying it again.
Yeah, I just would have preferred seeing more of the instrumental main themes for the Kingdom Hearts games here. They're extremely iconic to each game, so it would have just made sense to have, at the very least, Simple and Clean there, because it is the, you know, #1 main theme for all the Kingdom Hearts games. But
I'm just bummed there's no remixes, man. Like, I understand Yoko Shimomura, her music is just chef's kiss, incredible. But remixes, man. Smash has always been about the remixes. It would have been killer to see them, you know, see what they could do with one of the softer, more quiet songs. Like a Destiny Islands remix would have been incredible. Incredible.
But overall, Sora's inclusion in Smash is honestly wonderful to see, and he was my #1 pick for a new Smash character for this DLC, so it's just great to see that he's here, and being the final character as well. Just a perfect way to end off Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, bring back all the past Smash characters, as well as new ones fans have been wanting for years. And the fact that Sora was the #1 pick for the Smash ballot back in the Wii U days is just really cool to see them finally pay off that Smash ballot in a real way by getting the '1 pick.
It's a good send-off to Iwata too. It's very clear to see that Sakurai really modeled this game after Iwata, as a tribute to Iwata. A lot of things he said in, you know, these Sakurai Presents and in interviews and things like that, he's mentioned his name a lot. Iwata really had a good, profound impact on Sakurai, and it's very evident to see. So this game works both as a send-off to Iwata as well as a crowning jewel, a swan song for this series, getting all these fan-requested characters. I mean, when you look at the roster, even just the base roster, not even the DLC, like, look at the characters they added. Simon Belmont, always super requested. Ken Masters, always super requested. King K. Rool, super requested. Ridley, the meme character that people said was too big to be in Smash. He put Ridley in this game. Like, this is a dream come true for many people. Even Chrom, even the Fire Emblem character that they added into this game was the most requested one because of his infamous snubbing in Smash 4 and then the memes and all that stuff about, like, oh, he'll get his chance someday. You know what I mean? Like, even the Fire Emblem character was heavily fan requested. So you know that this game was made with so much love and so much attention, and he wanted to please as many people as he could, while also introducing them to new franchises and new characters, and The DLC even expanded upon that to a way that we never thought possible. This DLC season for the last 3 years has been incredible, and ending it on Sora just feels right. Sora being the most requested Smash character of all time, being the winner of the Fighters ballot, and the Smash ballot, and just being that impossible character that no one could get. Disney won't let him. Sora, Square Enix won't let him. Like, being that character and then to see him finally here in the game, it just feels perfect. I don't know where we go from here, but I can't imagine anything's gonna top Ultimate anytime soon.
But with all of that out of the way, everyone, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I know it's been quite a while since my last video. I'm going to attempt to upload more often. I can't promise anything too crazy, because if I try to do that, it probably will not work.
Relatable. Yeah, this is a good spot to end it, but I'm so happy that this is finally happening. I've made that clear a bunch of times by now that I'm very, very happy about Sora and Smash, and I'm glad you are too. I was actually kind of going in here expecting to roast you a little bit more, because you deserve it, let's be honest. I love roasting my friends, but you know, this is a good video. It's a good video, very well structured. You even, oh, look at you, you've even got the little segments here, intro, lack of characters. I like it. I actually don't know how to do that, so if you want to hit me up in the DMs and tell me how to do that, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Links in the description, both to the video and to his channel. I love this guy. Please give him some love. He's steadily approaching 900 subscribers, so if some of you guys want to go check him out, maybe give him a couple subscribers, tell him I sent you. That'd be really nice. I know I don't have a huge audience, but if a few of you guys want to go over and check him out, I'd really appreciate it. He's a great guy, really good friend of mine, and I'm happy he's back making videos. I'm gonna try to push him to keep going and making more. And I'm sure he's gonna bug me to make more too, because he's been bugging me for like 8 months. So, sounds about right, right? But seriously, links all down there below. Please check him out. Super great guy. That's gonna be it for me, though. This was fun. This is a lot of fun. Maybe we can do this more often. Maybe I'll edit it a little bit more. I don't know. This video is already like 27 minutes long, so I'm gonna end it. Stay classy, y'all.